Hello everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the Monster Marsh tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and before we start, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Also hit that bell button so you get a notification every time there's a new live stream coming up. Also, visit golfclashtommy.com. So it doesn't matter if you need help with tournament, you might need to watch a guide for the tour you're playing on, you might need an elevation adjustment, all elevation for every shot, and also all videos for tour play is on golfclashtommy.com. Check it out. Last but not least, subscribe to patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the text guides. In this playthrough, we're going to see shots with various type of wind. It's always like that when the tournament hasn't started. We do not know what type of wind it's going to be. And that's very important to have with you, but I'm going to give you an idea. I'm going to talk you through the holes and give you what I do believe is the general adjustment and general suggestion on how to approach these holes. So we're gonna go with hole number one. Hole number one is going to be a par 3 this time around, and we're going to play with a long iron. I would suggest that if you want to play for the rough bump, you play with a Goliath. If you do want to play for a normal bounce up, I would go with the backbone. The thing that I would like to do though is to go with a little bit more side spin than what, not a little bit more, but like more side spin than now, because we have no side spin. We do want to bounce up, but I also don't like that we have to adjust that close to the rough. 10% extra is what we do want here, and no spin. So use the side spin, it's going to be easier for you getting that ball close to the pin. For hole number 2, we're going to go over and play a par 4. And here we're just going to play straight forward on the left here, because that's going to give us the better approach towards the pin. We also have a very big bunker on the right that's going to definitely be in play if you're going to try to go that way. 10% extra for the drive here, and we are going to play with a mauling ball. I rather want to keep ourselves playing with lower level balls, so lower level power balls, so we're not going to have to spend a Titan or something like that, because now with the extra mile, then we do have distance from the club, and then we don't need any distance for the ball. So we bounce with 4.5 bar top spin, 2.5 bar side spin to the right. You do not need a curl, but I sometimes use curl to just compensate for the wind, but it's definitely not needed. And I think the curl was just an extra unnecessary ingredients on that shot. Second shot here is also going to be 10%, and here I would suggest that you play with a club that gives you backspin. And there, it could be the Thorn, it could be the Saturn, or maybe an upgraded backbone. Because the fairway before the green is very bumpy and very unreliable, and therefore we would rather use the fringe, or we would like to use the green to get the ball to bounce one time and then go towards the pin. But once again, it depends on what clubs you have unlocked, and in this case we're going to have the backbone, as we do not really have a Saturn to play with. So it's going to be the backbone, and we use the backspin that we're having on this club to get ourselves close. 4.5 bar backspin. You can see how quick I took that backspin. It's because I want to use max. I want to, as worst, aim here on the fringe, and then to get the ball close towards the pin. As I said, 10% extra, and I can't stress that enough. If you have a problem understanding what elevation is, and how to adjust for it, then check out the elevation guide that you can find here on the YouTube channel. That will definitely help you out. We get that ball in. In this example, we boom, getting it in the hole for an eagle. Hole number 3. Now you can see that we're changed to a more sunny view, but this shot and this hole is going to be a little bit darker as well in the Monster Marsh tournament. Around 75% of the ball in curl, I used 3 top spin and as much as side spin to the right possible. I would like though to play with a club that gives us more top spin, and that's hard obviously, because we do need curl as well, and the curl and top spin, very important. And if you do not have that much curl, I would rather play with an extra mile, side spin 3 ball, which would be a katana. So an extra mile katana, that would be perfect. 10% extra for the drive is going to leave us up to not this type of shot that we're doing here now. Then we're going to have just a bounce, like we're going to carry the ball over the rough and then have our first bounce to be over the rough instead of before the rough. Now we bounce ourselves towards the pin. Not really anything we can do. The only thing to have in mind here is that the elevation is going to be 0. So we're not going to add or subtract anything for the second shot, only for the drive. Hole number 4 now, and now this is a time to go for green. This is a par 4 that it's played more like a par 3. I'm showing you the rough bump here as I do believe that's a very simple adjustment for players playing from front tee. You can play with whatever extra mile you might have, so an extra mile level 1 would still be good. That's the same with Thor's Hammer. Thor's Hammer level 1 would work perfectly fine as well. Max side spin to the right, which is 4.5 bar, 1 bar top spin. We could even go with a little bit more. And then we adjust maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment. You can also bounce before the bunker on the fairway to the right of the rough if you do want that. But have in mind that you need at least 2.5 bar backspin to not roll into the rough there on top. Getting it to green, to hole number 5. And you know, this one has once again a little bit darker view, and that is what we're going to have in the tournament. Par 5, 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the left, 10% extra for the drive. But here I would like you to actually change from the extra mile to the quarterback, because playing with a better accuracy, better ball guideline is always better. But sometimes we do need distance, and therefore the quarterback isn't the suggested club many of the times. But in this case, we do want to just play with the quarterback. Give yourself the accuracy, ball guideline, get it up there. Do not, for the love of God, play with a power 3 ball like I do. That is absolutely not necessary. And that's something that is a mistake from my end. As you can see, our opponent is in the same distance as we are, but he can reach to the spot that we are still going for with a basic ball. So therefore, choosing a power 3 ball here, sure, if you have a bunch of them, spend it if you want to, but it's absolutely not necessary, and we can take ourselves through this hole by using lower level ball. And that's very important, as when we play in rookie, we might play in rookie with an alt account, or we play just as the beginning of our career, or we might just keep ourselves there because we want to. Then we might not want to spend a bunch of extra balls and stuff, or be having to rely on that to get us to the green. So in that case, do not choose a power 3 ball. Nothing to 1.5 bar backspin depending on the wind, and then we're going to just go for the pin. Very tough here with lower level clubs, as you aren't going to have the ball guide enough to, like, let's say you have a sniper level 10, then you could basically see on the ball guideline if you aimed at the hole or not. Now we can't, because we do not have the ball guideline. So no elevation for the second shot. This is going to get close, and it's a good try here for an albatross. We go over to hole number 6, which is 20% extra to 0. And we're going to play with a side spin 2 ball here. I would like for you to play with a side spin 3 ball if possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a side spin 2 ball. Take a look at where I have my blue ring by the bunker, second bounce just before the fringe. And I'm using 3 bars of backspin, and obviously as much side spin to the right possible. And here, once again, side spin 3, katana would be a better ball. Then we do not have to play with this much curl, and I'm playing with half a ball of curl to the right, as to help myself now only having side spin 2. It's still going to be a little bit too much, and that's something we'll have to think about. Do not go long on this hole, and long I mean to the back end of the green, then you're gonna have a problem. Hole number 7 is going to be the final par 4 in this playthrough, and here I'm actually having a big topper, and the big topper was used first and foremost to try to do a bounce over the water onto the little fairway island on the top right of the game screen over towards the green. That didn't work out that well, so I stopped doing that and just played it safe. Here, I would rather suggest you to play with an extra mile or a Thor's Hammer, but if you do have a big topper, that could be a suggestion as well. The reason that could be a suggestion, it's because it gives you more topspin. It doesn't have to be a level 4 big topper, it could be a more lower level. But the value of using more topspin is that you're going to get the ball to roll past the trees that you do have on the right hand side there, and going to leave yourself up for a very short approach towards the pin. Our opponent is going to put this one in the hole, and we are going to take our approach. And then you might have guessed the reason I started from tee when our opponent is on green. It's because I dropped the first shot into the water and trying to go for the green in one. And that's the risky part with it. Sure, we might going to make it a time or two, but we're going to have some balls in the water as well. And then all of a sudden, when there is a risk of losing one shot by trying to push it too hard, then I'm not going to play that shot. I'm definitely not going to suggest it, as that is not my method on how to teach this game. Second shot, nothing extra for elevation. The first shot was 10% if I didn't mention that. And then we're going to go with either a dunk or a bounce up towards the pin or a backspin shot that we're doing now. And once again, this is going to be a very important type of shot because it's a very short shot. And then we do want to at least be very close, but you know, sometimes we do maybe want to get that one in the hole. Hole number 8 is the final par 3, and here is like one thing to think about. If you do have a crosswind or a headwind, you play with a wood club and you play with a power 0 ball, because otherwise you're going to go in between clubs. 1.5 bar topspin, aim for the pin. Don't forget to add the 10%. 1-0, we do need to add that. If you do have a tailwind, then I want you to play with a power 2 ball or a power 1 ball together with a Goliath. Do not choose the backbone, do not choose the Saturn, as it doesn't have the distance enough. Lower level Goliath is perfect, you can have it as low as in level 1, and then you're gonna do the same. Bounce yourself up towards the pin. Still use 10% extra. We're gonna go to hole number 9 as the final hole in this playthrough, which is a par 5 tough one. And we're gonna push it over to the left hand side. 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin to the right, and 10% extra elevation. Once again, we're playing downhill. We are going to adjust and push up to max, or we're gonna start by adjust from overpowered position. As you can see here now, even though we have tailwind and the power 3 ball, we still need to go with a little bit of overpower. So it's very important that you play with a power 3 ball and play with the club, or like the driver, that gives you the most distance. Once getting over here to the fairway, we will have no problem to reach for the green in 2. Actually, it's going to be a pretty decent albatross opportunity. Viper, and the second shot is going to be played 0. Very important that you do have that in mind, so you're not adding or subtracting anything for elevation here. Aim for the pin, no spin, and I like many of the times to go without spin because it gives me, at least that's how I feel, to give me better control. So we're going to adjust for the shot, taking the shot, and then we're going to hope to gain an albatross. It's going to be close though, and that this hole is definitely going to give people some albatross, but also if you do make the drive, if you don't do the drive in a good way, you're definitely going to lose out on the eagle as well. So have that in mind. So this was the playthrough for Rookie Division in the Monster Marsh tournament with general, like various type of wins, because once again, we don't know what win we're gonna have in the tournament. If you do have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to Patreon to get the text guides link in the video description down below. golfclashtommy.com for more Golf Clash related content. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.